I'm here today to discuss the Access Integrity Software Design Kit, or SDK, a revolutionary new technology that assists in the medical billing and coding process to improve the revenue cycle and reduce claim denials. The adoption of ICD-10 in October 2015 sent shockwaves through the medical community, as the 13,000 codes in ICD-9 ballooned into more than 150,000 codes. While its adoption occurred in order to increase specificity in coding, improve value-based reimbursement, and allow for more precise outcome measurement, it also significantly throttled the time it takes to code a medical encounter. With that big a change in scope in the code set, it's understandable that it would take longer for coders to accurately and compliantly code a medical record. But in the time since ICD-10 became policy, coding speeds have not demonstrably improved. Moreover, the necessity of matching proper CPT procedural codes to compliant ICD-10 equivalents has slowed the process further. This leads to problems throughout the encounter lifecycle, including a greater difficulty in accurately coding a note, each note taking more time to code. Poor documentation means that a note can't be coded properly. These are significant and increasingly costly problems systemic to the medical billing cycle, which is exactly the reason we developed the Access Integrity SDK. The Access Integrity SDK is a game-changing package of API calls that, at any point in the life cycle of a patient encounter, can be called to reveal the ICD-10, CPT, and HCPCS codes that bear out from the actual encounter documentation. This is especially important because, as we know, if it isn't in the documentation, it never happened. Providers will not get paid for something that wasn't documented, and the difference in reimbursement can be huge. The Access Integrity SDK helps anyone who touches the documentation of a medical encounter at any point, from the encounter itself to the coder or administrator prior to submission, but this is also true at the insurer end of the encounter, when they're trying to decide on a level of reimbursement for an encounter or are investigating fraud. But how can we help both sides of this seeming opposition? Well, on the provider level, proper coding leads to higher levels of reimbursement and therefore higher income for a practice. It encourages more robust, complete documentation to get the code suggestions that result in more reimbursement. It emboldens confidence that the submitted codes will be accepted and reimbursed fully and in a timely manner. And additionally, it quells the instinct to undercode in order to avoid fines, as undercoding has the same audit potential as overcoding. And finally, it shields against audits, which potentially can result in millions of dollars in fines. And this is especially true for large provider networks. And then on the payer level, it quickly and efficiently analyzes a hospital or other provider's entire encounter backlog all at once. It determines whether or not fraud is present by detecting the likelihood of over or undercoded notes, and it allows payers to target certain groups for fraud analysis. By making the payer-payee cycle shorter, the Access Integrity SDK shortens the entire workflow on both sides and makes the coding process more compliant by ensuring better coding coming from provider networks and a more efficient analysis cycle for payers. The Access Integrity SDK truly is a disruptive technology in the healthcare space.